What is up, 11th edition friends and family? I hope everybody is doing well today and welcome to some StatCheck bonus content. This is the meta preview for July 2026. This is normally content that we put behind the Patreon and YouTube membership paywall, but because it's the first of the new edition, I figured I would put this up for everybody so you guys will all have the opportunity to see this. And if you like what you hear, check it out. We doing one of these every month as we go forward. I'm here today to talk about the early rumblings of 11th edition, what the metagame is looking like, what's doing well at tournaments, what I like and what I don't like about the things people are doing, so that you guys have got a bit of a picture from me as to what you should be looking at and going into your tournaments. Obviously, I have my big singles event for July coming up, which is the UKTC Edinburgh tournament, which I'm hoping to win. It can't be a super major in Scotland that I don't win. I'd be very upset with myself. So I'm going to do my best to get that. I've also got War Masters coming up in August. So lots on the table, and I think we'll see a lot of meta developments between now and August. So with hopefully, fingers crossed, a balance patch in July that addresses some of the outliers in the metagame and pushes us back to a more normal place, and then hopefully that comes out before WTC rules cut off, which would make me feel much better. Because we all know what's going on with these things. We all know that there's some problems with the game at the moment, but it looks to be broadly that a lot of people are having a good time with it, and I think that's great. I'm recording this on the 30th of June. Hopefully, this should be going out on Wednesday the 1st. I will try to get this uploaded pretty quickly so that anybody who's got list submissions for events this weekend or anything like that that watches can enjoy and move on with that. The format for this one is pretty simple. I'm going to go through probably pretty much every faction of the game and try to put a couple minutes onto my thoughts. I got a pretty tight deadline on this one. I got about an hour and 20 minutes to record because we have this. I'm recording the StatCheck live show after this, and I don't want to run over because everyone will be upset with me if I don't do it. So we're going to get straight into it. We're going to talk about basically every faction of the game. Now, to do this, we have a bunch of different things that we're going to use. So I'm going to share my tabs. So we're going to start. We've got a bunch of data to use. We have Listhammer, which is the site that we use, which accumulates the top fours or 4-0 lists from every event with 16 or more players. We have the Goonhammer faction top 4 stats. And then we also have a couple of team events to take a look at in the form of, I definitely wasn't looking at Tyranid lists earlier, ATC, which was a big team event in the States that had a 5-mans and an 8-mans tournament. And we're going to have a look at what did well there as well and just kind of go through it for each faction. There's not broadly any particular order to this. Nothing is faction order, so we're just going to go in order of alphabetical. So if you want to, we don't do timestamps. I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth or the technology or the, frankly, desire to sit and do timestamps on this. So if you're looking for your faction, jump around alphabetically. They will be in the order that they are displayed here. So Sisters to start. Sisters are an army that we thought looked really interesting at the beginning. A lot of cool stuff coming out of stuff like Army of Faith with the double Miracle Dice, but obviously Miracle Dice took a bit of a hit for Sisters battle. Not being able to use them after you roll the dice, you have to roll all the dice, so you have to use the Miracle Dice beforehand. Army of Faith can mitigate that a little bit by having the 4-up beforehand, and it pairs quite well with Sacred Champions, which is the Sacrosanct detachment. Obviously, Sacrosanct's gaining the ability to have Hospitallers double join, giving them Canonesses, Palatines, Junith, all that good stuff, Ace straight if you really want it. But it looks like we've not seen that start here. We've actually got Chorus of Condemnation plus Army of Faith coming out of Logan Prager here, which is, I don't actually know what Chorus of Condemnation does off the top of my head, so I'm going to go look that one up. I think it's the Exorcist one. Yeah, it's the +3 detection range one. So this is probably pairing with a fairly heavy shooting backline. So this is Canoness with Jump Pack, Canoness with Jump Pack, so 2 of those. That's going to be handing out the plus detection range after they shoot something. We've got 2 Immolators, we've got an Arcoflagellant, we've got triple Castigator, Dominions, an Exorcist, Paragons, and a bunch of scoring. So yeah, this is just trying to use that plus detection range to push it up to 18 or 20, 18 or 15 inches, and connecting as much damage as possible at range using the good Army of Faith stratagems. You've got a -1 to hit stratagem, which pairs really well with cover. You've got an ignore modifier stratagem, which pairs really well with ignoring cover, which are both bubbles coming off of those Canoness units. You've got the jump Canoness to use it. This seems like a really good place to go if you want to go for a shooting heavier version of Army of Faith compared to like the Sacrosanct brick that might want to play Sacred Champions instead. Really, really interesting direction here. We've also got Scott Ketchum, who's another great US player, very known for playing a lot of Sisters, who's playing Hallowed Martyrs. This is obviously the stand back up detachment. The stand back up stratagem is a little busted right now with how it interacts, but I think a lot of events are ruling that it just works intuitively. Being able to res a character is super powerful because obviously that doesn't count as a kill until you get into the character. The character then stands back up, potentially can be a Hospitaller that can res models on top of that, or it can just be like a Vol who still has her full rerolls because she's to back up and she still catches leading now, which is great. So we've got Vol with Paragons, we've got a Minister and Priest with Insidiance. That's giving them +1 to wound. We've got a Palatine with Sacrosancts. That's maximum damage through Suffering Sacrifice. She's going to stand back up and hit like a truck. We've got a Canoness, Demonofuge. This is the same example to keep those Miracle Dice. Sisters, notably as well, did cop a nerf to Miracle Dice generation. Not having character plus leader unit means you'll only get one Miracle Dice from that unit when it dies instead of two, because it's not the separate, it's the same unit now. We've got Demonofuge and Atranthus and Catherine. We've got Battle Sister squad, an Immolator, 2 Rhinos, 2 Arcoflagellant squads, 2 more Insidian squads, and a Sanctifier. So this is very, very melee heavy. We've got the Triumph giving us a ton of speed. There's not really a ton of shooting care coming out of anything besides the Morvenval unit. But yeah, this is just playing really good. It's got priority assets, so it's mostly just doing actions the whole time. Notably, this one is playing Reconnaissance or Take and Hold. We don't currently have the information on which one it played, which is annoying. I would love it to show me that. But I would presume that this would play as Take and Hold. So yeah, Sisters, you've got the unit count to play prior assets, you've got the durability to play Take and Hold, you've got the damage to play Take and Hold. I think the Sisters seem like they're in a very reasonable space, and I don't think there's anything too crazy. I'm going to jump over to List Hammer and see if there's anything else that's missing here. There is not. Cool. Okay, Adeptus Custodes, we have 4 results, which is pretty solid for us only being a couple weeks in. It looks like Might of the Mortoi plus Lions of the Emperor is the most popular, with Silent Hunters, Lions of the Emperor being the next most popular. Silent Hunters is the Anathema Psychona one that gives the plus detection range, so it might be a little more shooting heavy. Might of the Mortoi is the mini shield, mini whatever the vehicle, Solar Spearhead one is does. It doesn't give the same level of stratagems, but it does give the movement to your dreadnoughts. What do we have? So the event win was a Shield Captain and Alaris with an Alaris squad. This unit's very, very solid this edition. Lines of the Emperor, notably, the +1 to hit that comes from the detachment roll for being outside 6 is much better now because it actually works with cover. So you now effectively have ignore cover in all these units, where before that +1 to hit only matched if everyone had a modifier. Everybody has a modifier now, so that +1 to hit, you feel it a lot more. You pseudo ignore cover, so every AP just feels like it got +1 benefit on this army. And then this is one big unit with a lot of shooting that's perfectly happy dropping down and just like doming, 20 man of work boys or something like that. Like very, very potent. We've got shield captains on the jet bikes ×2. These are going to be doing the reload their fight and then go again. There's actually 3 squads of those, all with salvo launchers, yet really abusing that +1 to wound. Lots and lots of shots here. There's just a pile of damage to shooting coming out of these army that are all, that AP1 is much more relevant now than it was before. And they're all able to fight, to go through walls. They've got mobile. They technically have frame if that matters, like the spears being a little longer lets them get into combat and keep a little easier coherency. Yeah, super interesting. Then we've got 1 Alaris, we've got 1 Dreadnought with the double guns. I imagine this is playing Might of the Mortoi mostly for the give this guy 36 shots, and 1 Navigator, which is going to be our home objective holder in this army, because that's a 12-inch deep strike. This army is super thick, playing Purge the Foe, doing the whole, you are not going to be able to kill more than me, because I only have, this unit list only has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Notably, 5 of those are very durable or run away when they run away afterwards, right? Like the Shield Captain squad is obviously very tanky. You've got that set damage to 1 on the Shield Captain and Allers Terminator. We've got 3 lead Donegal Jetbike squads that are all 4-mans, so reasonably durable, toughness 7, 5 wounds. Just like really causing problems with their runaway. We've got 1 small hour squad, 1 navigator on the home objective, and 1 Telemon, which is -1 damage, right? That's a tanky army that's very good at playing that Purge game. What else do we have? We've got Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle, Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle, triple Caladius, Telemon, another squad of Dawn Eagles, and then double Witch Seekers. So this is a little heavier on the, we've got the rural ones. Telemon, did that list also have the rural ones, Telemon, and it just wasn't listed? I imagine it did, because this list is also paying 250 points, or maybe this one just manually added the enhancement. Interesting. I actually don't know how why are those different points? Let me go and look at the Talon's base cost. Yeah, the Talon's base cost is 225, so that first one did have interred expertise for the reroll ones to hit and wound on that Talon Dreadnought, which I think is a really, really powerful shooting piece. Like a reroll ones to hit and wound, like the single Dreadnought, that you're just like, this guy gets the reroll ones to hit and wound stratagem, and he just shoots, and he's fast enough, he shoots hard, he's durable, he's a good anvil unit that just like lets you solve a problem at long range. Like he's got decent odds of killing a vehicle, like a Predator size thing. You're going to hand it 7-ish dev wounds and a bunch of saves. It's pretty reliable for spending 1 CP. This list is a little more heavy on the shooting, obviously playing triple Caladius, which is super cool. I think this bed list might like to be Silent Hunters for that plus detection range, but it also doesn't love having to have the having to pay points for the sisters. And then the last one we have is Shield Captain with Alaris, Blade Champion with Guard, Blade Champion with Guard, Solo Trajan, Alaris, Double Prosecutors, that same Talon Heavy Dreadnought, very popular, Double Venatari, which Seekers Calendars. I like this list a ton. I actually really, really like this. It's a lot more MSU, which maybe makes me want to not play it as Purge so much. But it looks like this one was played as Purge. But I think this is probably slightly too tall. And obviously this did get a 4th place, not a first or second. So maybe there's a small amount of difference there, but also, very respectable army. I think Might of the Mortoi plus Lions of the Emperor seems like a very, very reasonable way to play Custodes going forward. Just to quickly touch on the last list, this is playing Reconnaissance instead of Purge the Foe, which means that we're probably playing a few more unit count. Yep, 3 squads of Olorus, a pile of Witch Seekers, and then that same kind of thing of the double shield captains on Dawn Eagles. Obviously not playing the Dreadnought because there's not really a ton of point without the benefit from Might of the Mortoi. Super cool. I think this is a really, really interesting direction. I think Custodes does really well with it. I don't love playing Recon personally. I think I like the Might of the Mortoi list version better, but yeah, I think this is a super cool way to go. There is probably some mileage in Might of the Mortoi plus Shield Host if you want to go heavier into the Dreadnoughts, because obviously Alliance doesn't do anything for them. But I think just if you're splashing in one, Lions of the Emperor is a much better way to do it. And that's the one that's bearing results so far. I would keep an eye on Shield Host. I think Crit 5 is still very powerful. And if Talons continues to be, if Psykers continue to be popular in the metagame with Thousand Suns, Scintillating Legion, stuff like that, maybe there's always a world where Talons of the Emperor is worth having a look at again as well. There is nothing additional from Listhammer that I need to point out. Cool. Adeptus Mechanicus, we only have one result. It's an event win, though, and it's from Eradication Cohort Purge the Foe. So we're going tall as hell. Let's kill some guys. What are we looking at here from Nicholas? We're playing Belisarius Call and Talia. So this is the Granny and Grandpa stand next to each other, get lone operative, be really annoying. Call doesn't walk through walls at the moment, which is a little annoying, but Ulth is obviously still very powerful. We have one Ranger squad for holding our home. We have one Hastari squad for some big damage output with the neutrons. 5 Iron Striders, 1 Servitor Battleclade for some scoring, 2 Infiltrator squads, 2 Rust Stalker squads, and 2 Scorpius Disintegrators. This is, or sorry, 3 Scorpius Disintegrators. This is a decent amount of shooting, like not like the most shooting I've ever seen in Eradication Cohort list with a decent amount of combat. It's playing very MSU. I actually don't personally love this as Purge the Foe, but it's definitely a lot of really cool scoring units, a lot of good power. All these units hit hard. They have access to advantage charge from Tulia. They have reroll ones to wound coming out of the doctrines. You can obviously double doctrine from Tulia to have reroll ones to hit on top of that. You have Call Oath. Like it's just a lot of damage packed up in small packages that abuses tanks with twin shooting and 5 and 10 man infantry with hidden really well. And those are the two things that I think stand out as being really strong at the start of this edition. So yeah, solid results coming out there from Adeptus Mechanicus. We will touch on the ATC results at the end. I'll kind of go through every faction. Like I'll go through the top 10 at ATC for both of them and just kind of touch on each one because I think that will be an easier way than interrupting this process. Notably as well, there is a result from Pascal Haberstroh on Listhammer that is not on Goonhammer. This is from a German event. And this is Lords of the Forge plus Skitarii Hunter Corps played as Reconnaissance. And Reconnaissance and Priority Access, I believe. I don't actually know which one. Yeah, played as Reconnaissance. There we go. With Call, 1 Marshal with Hastari Exterminators. That gives them the heroes to hit. A Manipulus with the Destroyers and Tulia as well. So Tulia plus Call in the Lords of the Forge gives them that 5 Field of Pain, which is very powerful. 2 Ranger squads, 1 Hastari Exterminator squads, a big squad of Ballistari, big squad of Cataphrons, squad of Cerberus Raiders, 2 Servitor Battleclades, getting that 4 pivotal save and that 5 Field of Pain on that Servitor Underseer is really solid. And then 1 Infiltrators, 1 Rust Stalkers, and 2 Disintegrators. This is a little bit more scoring heavy, but it's still got a decent core of shooting. Obviously, that 1 Cataphron Destroyer squad, having that good Overwatch in an edition where full reroll Overwatch is punished, like by not existing. The Destroyers gain like a relative amount of power there. And obviously playing it as Skitarii Hunter Corps, Skitarii Hunter Corps had some just really good stratagems. Mostly it's data sheet rule is kind of irrelevant, but good stratagems helps a ton. Being able to go back in reserve and all that kind of stuff helps those Hastari fly around. And the Scorpius Disintegrators obviously love some of that access. You've also got the Rust Stalkers and Infiltrators with good power there. You've got advanced charge coming out of Tulia too. As I recall, I think there was an event in Poland as well that had an AdMech list that did reasonably well, but let me go and see if I can find that one. It did not. I am talking crap. I will go through the top 3 of that one, which is Thousand Suns Blood and Just Never Children at the end, because I don't think that one is in our data. All right, next up on the factions, we have Eldar. We have Seer Council as the number 1 performing faction. This is a ton of Psykers and Phoenix Lords. This is played as last edition. This is last edition. That's not a real result. Eldari, you didn't make it. You didn't make it into the cut. What are we doing, Eldari? Where's there anybody at the end of the events? Eldari did not show up anywhere. Did they show up in any of these events? Okay, there was one 4-1 list at the. Okay, there was a 4-1 list at each of the events, so we'll talk about them when we get to the ATC. My kind of broad overall appeal right now is that Seer Council is the way to go. It is probably the strongest way to play Eldar. In the current moment. There is maybe a world where we're looking at some Eldritch Raider stuff, maybe where we're looking at some Windrider Host, I know that Manny Chima is playing 36 Jetbikes Windrider Host at the events going forward, but right now we're still waiting for some real results coming out of Eldar to tell us what direction they're on. I think Eldar got hit pretty badly by the points updates that came with the start of the edition, and I'm not in love with them at the moment. They're definitely not my favorite army to play right now. I think they have some real trouble. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I don't think there's a ton of direction for Eldar right now, like besides doing the obvious. Really quickly, Matt Schuckman went 4-0-1 with some really high scores at ATC 8-mans. He played Priority Assets, Seer Council, Path of the Outcast, and Mark Slaughter went 4-0-1 with Eldritch Raiders plus Path of the Outcast, played as Reconnaissance with the Avatar of Kane and Uriel. So we'll talk about those when we talk about the ATC results, because I think that's the easiest way to do that. Okay, next up we have Astra Militarum. We have a bunch of results from, so any of the War Games Common events were obviously last edition, so we're not going to worry about them. So we have a Designation Force plus Mechanized Assault result coming out of Purposeful Reconnaissance, which does not say which one it played. I would guess this is a reconnaissance army if I had to be a betting man. Leontis, Cadian Command Squad, Cadian Shock Troops, Scions, God's Ghosts, Tech Percentages here, Marbo, double Chimera, double Taurox. So yeah, really leaning into that Mechanized plus 1 to wound. 1 Rough Riders, 1 Death Riders, 1 Hellhound, 1, 2, 3 Kazakin, 1, 2 Engineers, and a Dorn Battle Tank and Scout Sentinels. So good amount of shooting, using Designation Force to get that additional hidden range. I think any detachment that has access to like a +3, +6 hidden range can be really, really solid. It's really nice to be able to have your guns activate from a little closer up, because one of the problems that you might find is that if you have to jam super close to a melee army, they can just shoot you and then you don't get that. Or they can just charge you from up close. Excuse me. They can just charge you from up close and you have to walk into their threat range. Stuff like Genestealers, Orc Boys, Blood Angels, anything in that kind of like movement 8 to 10 space that can just jam across hidden range and really start taking the damage to you can be really, really challenging right now. And this army does a pretty reasonable job of doing that. So yeah, I think really interesting here. Is there anything else from Astra Militarum that I need to be aware of? No, that is the only result from Astra Militarum over the first weekend and a half of the edition. Okay, Bastion Task Force. We have Black Templars. We have three results: Bastion Task Force and 2 results for Living Miracle, plus Ironsworn Spirit and Stormlance. So the Bastion Task Force list is Grimaldson Captain, Emperor's Champion, High Marshal Lieutenant, Combat Weapon Marshal. This is just mass MSU Assault Intercessors plus a Crusader Squad, not a 10-man, just a small one, and then double Repex. So a decent pile of shooting, lots of MSU combat stuff, just playing jam forward, punch people in the face. Super cool. Living Miracle, Ironstorm Spearhead. We have the Emperor's Champion with Guiding Omens. Obviously, the entire detachment is Guiding Omens, so you're going to play it with an Assault Intercessor Squad, a Marshal Castellan Sword Brethren unit, which is probably going in a vehicle of some kind, with the 4-up Philippine on the Marshal to try to keep the Castellan alive, I would guess. We have a Marshal Castellan Sword Brethren. We have double Tech Marine, and then pile of guns, triple Repex, double Lancer. This is not a lot of shooting. I would not be surprised if this was playing Purge the Foe. It is. That Bastion Task Force list obviously playing. Honestly, Bastion Task Force is taking hold. And then Living Miracle Stormhound's Task Force. This is combo with Marshal Sword Brethren Squad, Marshal Sword Brethren Squad, Assault Intercessors Squad with Guiding Omens, another Assault Intercessor Squad, and then JPI, and Cursors. So people are leaning very heavily into the Repexes and away from the 20-man Crusader bricks. I think all of these lists had at least 1 or 2 Repexes in them. Yeah, 2 Repexes in at least all of them. That seems to be the direction for Black Templars. Get those rerolls, power through cover. Obviously, the change to AP means that it hurts a lot less to not be like a Gladius Task Force Repulsor Executioner now, and the full rerolls natural coming out of those tanks that already kind of want to jam close anyway because you're playing Black Templars has helped a ton. I think of these ones, I like the Ironstorm build the best. I like the idea of having lots of rerolls going with those big las cannons. If you're going to play 3 of them, play 3 of them and don't commit and play Purge the Foe. Right, this list is 5 tanks, 2 solo characters that are pretty durable, and 3 attached units. Right, like there's only 10 units in this army. It's quite hard to get the Purge the Foe ramping points against it if you're playing against it. I think there's maybe an argument you don't play the 3rd Repex, you play like 1 less of like a Tech Marine or something. You play, an Intercessor, like whatever. But you don't have to hold your home objective. You're playing Purge the Foe. It's fine. Just take 3 Repexes full of the scariest melee units available to you and jam them at your opponent. Right? What's not to love? Okay, Blood Angels. The only result we have is from. Oh, sorry. Let me double check the other one. Make sure there's no Templars results I'm missing. There is not. That was already more than we had from Listhammer. Blood Angels, Legacy of Grace plus Stormlance. This is the +1 to advance in charge for characters detachment paired with Stormlance, which gives you armor by advance in charge. 3rd place, Lamar is plus Death Company, just a 10-man. Librarian, Sanguinary Priest, Assault Intercessor unit. That's a 10-man. That's 4 from Vaultable, save 5 LP on the Sentinel Initiative. It's kind of cool. Librarian, Sanguinary Priest, Assault Initiative. 2 of those. Those are fast held. Those are very fast, very durable units for Stormlance. Chaplain with Jump Pack with another 10 of Death Company. Chaplain with Jump Pack with another 10 of Death Company. And a Ball Predator, a couple Suppressor Squads to chuck out -1 to hit. This is a super cool army, actually. I've not seen anything like this before. This is really interesting. I would imagine this is playing Disruption because it wants to just kill things, and Disruption generally lets you play a bit more of the killing game, and it's not super worried about doing the secondaries. But I could also see playing this in priority assets. The fact that it doesn't have like a combo lieutenant or something kind of tells me it probably doesn't want to play priority assets super hard. Just not as good at playing the doing actions game. But this is go hard, go fast, hit them in the deployment zone, and that is super cool. If you're looking for an interesting and novel way to play Blood Angels, maybe a place to have an experiment with. Are there any Blood Angels resists coming out? We have another one from the Polish event, which went 4-1, which is a more traditional Liberator Assault Group list. This is Lamarty's in 10 Death Company, Blood Angels Captain with Assault Initiative with Ragefilled Warrior, Chaplain Sanguinary Priest Blade Guard Squad, Chaplain Sanguinary Priest Blade Guard Squad. So 2 of those, very durable, very good at taking hold. 1 Intercessors, 2 JPIs, 2 small Eradicator Squads to give you your vehicle solving, 1 Land Raider regular, not even a Redeemer. I would love to find the 30 points to make this a Redeemer. 1 Sanguinary Guard unit on lead, and 1 Scout Squad. So no Dante, anything like that in this, just very, very, I'm going to hit you pretty hard. Went 4-1. Really, really solid results out of E-Man there. So I think this is more of a traditional take and hold style build. Did this one, this has it listed as playing Disruption, so I'm going to assume that it did indeed play Disruption, because it says that and the army doesn't. So I'm just defaulting to. I'm just going to trust that this made the right decision. Okay, what's up next? Next up, we have Chaos Demons. The only result we have for Chaos Demons is Warptide Plague Legion. That is super cool. I am hoping there's a pile of Plague Bearers in this. I also have one list from Cavalcade plus Shadow Legion, from an event from another event that is not included on the Goonhammer stats. So we have Wartide Plague Legion, Poxbringer with Plague Bearers, Sulfate Ballpiper with Plague Bearers, Sulfate Ballpiper with Plague Bearers, Sulfate Ballpiper with Plague Bearers, Great Thorn Rodriguez Changeling, 10 Demonettes, 4 Nurgling squads, Advance and Charge Nurglings, glorious, another Plague Bearer squad, and triple Beast of Nurgle to be annoying. This is probably playing Take and Hold. It is playing Take and Hold. What does a Sloppy Bilepiper do when he's at home? Sloppy Bilepiper's leader ability is add 1 to move and reroll advance rolls. And this entire army advance and charges. So that's super cool. That sounds like a ton of fun. And they obviously hand out the battle shocks within 6, which then stacks up all your -1s, makes your opponent just take battle shock tests. That's a really cool detachment. Obviously, it didn't win the event, but solid little 4th place for that army. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Poxbringer gives crit 5s and a battle shock at -1, or makes people take battle shock at -1, so just more stuff to get in your opponent's face. Warptide obviously gives you advance and charge for your entire army. Plague Legion hands out battle shocks like a mother trucker. There's also an aura for 18-inch Lone Op, which is called Droning Shroud, which is on this Great and Clean one. So this effectively has Bellicor plus a whole bunch of stuff plus hidden. So it can be quite hard to like not deal with getting bogged down by it. It doesn't do a ton of damage outside of battle shocks, but it is certainly going to cause some annoying problems for some armies. If your army is vulnerable to battle shocks, this is going to be miserable to play against. The other result coming out of it is from Jesper playing Shadow Legion plus Cavalcade of Chaos. This is a Skullmaster with the Scout Enhancement with a Blood Crusher unit, Skullmaster with Soul Shattering Charge, which I don't remember. I think that's the... I don't remember what Soul Shattering Charge does. Soul Shattering Charge gives you 3-inch engagement range, so Blood Crusher can actually fight better. We have another one of those with that same upgrade, a Bloodthirster with the Fight and Fade, 2 Red Masters, pile of Nurglings, triple Skull Cannon, and a Cultist mob because we're playing Shadow Legion, we might as well. So Cavalcade of Chaos's whole gimmick is that it gives you turn 1 rapid ingress and fallback and charge for Khorne units, or advanced charge for Khorne units. And then Cavalcade of Chaos gives you fallback and charge for Khorne units along with the turn 1 unit. Shadow Legion gives you advance and charge. So you have advanced charge, fallback and charge Blood Crushers for handing out those mortal wounds. You have a scouting unit. Blood Crushers are quite aggressively pointed. They're 30 points for toughness 7, 3 up, 5 up with 4 wounds. Like that's a lot of meat for 30 points. I know we saw stuff like Nick Nanavati playing triple 6-mans in Shadow Legion at ATC. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, really, really interesting direction here. Probably play Purge the Foe. It did indeed. Because I don't know if I would play double Nurglings at Purge the Foe, and I don't know if I'd bother with Skull Cannons, but super cool army. It seems to have done a recent result. Let's take a look at what it played against. Lost 1,000 suns in round 1 and then won out from there. Yeah, that tracks. Makes sense to me. Okay, who's up next? Chaos Knights. We have a Lords of Dread result with a Lancer, a Gat Despoiler, a Thermal Despoiler, a Porphyrion, and 2 Nurglings. This is probably not the direction you should take. But I do like Lords of Dread as a detachment. The -1 damage stratagem or -1 damage stratagem is pretty valuable. The Battle Shocks are pretty valuable. The Sticky 5 is very valuable on the side of terrain. And I would imagine that it plays a pretty decent mission. I think Priority Assets is what this one plays, which I think it seems good at. I don't really have a lot more about it to say. I don't think you should play a Porphyrion, but I think this is a reasonable and acceptable alternative to Infernal Lance. There we go. Words failing me apparently. Okay, next up we have Chaos Space Marines. We have Cabal of Chaos Soulforge Warpack, which was Vashtor, Wartsmith, double Defiler, double Forge Fiend, double Helldrake, triple Venom Crawler. This guy's my goddamn hero. Cabal of Chaos is literally just here to give us access to the heal stratagem, I think, for Defilers, which is cool. It's a good stratagem. And then this is just maximum shooting otherwise. These Helldrakes are expensive, but they do hit pretty hard to fly things. So if you're worried about Riptides and Twin Lance, it's a place to be. Tempting Addendum obviously gives us our full rerolls, so we don't need to play Abaddon. We're playing Purge the Foe. We're just very, very thick. This is just all units, all gas, no breaks. I think if you swapped those out for other data sheets, I would really like this list. Maybe like Occultist Squad and another Occultist Squad, 2 bikes and another, or like 2 Cult Squads, a Bike Squad, and another Forge Fiend. I think I would like that a lot. Then we have another Soulforge Warpack list, which played with Murder Talon Raiders, so double Purge the Foe. We have the 10-man War Talon Squad with Jump Pack Leader. Then we have Warsmith, double Cultists, triple Spawn, which I don't like very much. These guys are OC0, triple Defiler, double Venom Crawler. So people are liking the lean on damage plan for Chaos Space Marines right now. I think overall I prefer something slightly more nuanced than this, but certainly this is what's been working early game. So if you're looking for a direction for Chaos Space Marines, maybe the answer is just go big on damage because you're not going to play clever games anyway. You might as well just kill them. The only other result we have coming out of it right now is over here. We have a Fellhammer plus Cabal of Chaos list playing Takenhold. So this is Abaddon, Huron with Masters, Vashtor, Cultist Mob, 10-man Chosen, 10-man Chosen. So just going very durable, 10-man Chosen with Abaddon, 10-man Chosen with Huron and Mom. And then 2 Defilers and an Nurgling squad. There is F-all scoring in this list. This is just damage. Played as Takenhold because it's just going to stand on objectives with -1 to wound and a 5 with Film Pain and say, walk at me, otherwise I'm going to kill you. And that's cool as hell. What did this lose to? It lost a pretty big game to Orcs. I would definitely say that this army's downside is that it's not amazing against melee armies. It has its reactive move, but otherwise it doesn't have a ton of tools to handle melee armies. Getting jammed up by Orcs, I can certainly see being an army that would cause you problems. I can't promise that was the Orc build that played against, but I'm going to go with that as my initial lead. Let me go take a look and see exactly what that Orc build was. I'm sure we'll get to it. It was Purge the Foe, and it was Dread Mob with Pile of Guns. So this is just lots of... I'm surprised that beat it, frankly. I'm very surprised that beat that. Very surprised that this lost to a gun-based army, but that is very interesting. It lost to a Purge the Foe gun army with Pile of Tractor Cannons. Interesting. Well, I'll take the L on that one. I was not correct about the way that would lose. I really did think that the kind of ways that list would lose would be getting fought to death, but it apparently got shot to death. Okay, Company of Hunters is standing out as the Dark Angels of choice. I think this makes sense. I know we saw a bit of results at Wrath of the Rocket ATC, but we have Disruption Prio, Takenhold. Disruption Prio, this is probably playing Disruption, I would guess, with Azure Lieutenant Hellblaster Squad, lots of damage, lots of abilities. We have a Ravenwood Command Squad with Outriders. We have Samuel with Black Knights, who obviously confers the... He's got that +1 strength from Dark Age Arsenal. You've got advantage shoot on everything because of Company of Hunters. We've got a Ravenwood Command Squad with another Black Knight Squad. We've got double Outriders on top of the one that we already had. We've got one of the new Land Speeds with Fire and Fade, which are very solid data sheet. Double Vengeance, Hammer Strike, Thunder. This is just a ton of shooting, getting that +1 strength on the plasma weapons from Dark Age Arsenal and advantage shoot army wide from Company of Hunters. Super, super powerful, hits really hard, shoots really hard, cool army. We've also got Dark Flight plus Company of Hunters. This is the fly vehicles ignore cover, fly units ignore cover instead of the Dark Age Arsenal +1 strength on plasma. I think I prefer this one. The stratagems are maybe a little better as well, having to go back in reserve. We've got Samuel with Outriders, who obviously becomes a fly unit, so this unit ignores cover for the little that matters. We've got a Ravenwing unit with the Scout Enhancement. We've got another Ravenwing unit with the Black Knight Squad. There's 2 9-mans of Black Knights with ignore cover. Lionel Johnson going alongside that, and then double the new land speeder, double vengeance, a dark shroud still for the cover, just a cheap 80-point body. This is doing a lot of the job of like an intercessor squad would. It's just an 80-point unit that gives you stealth, so you don't have to worry about jamming in cover. It's not bad. Thunderstrike with +1 to wound, and an Eversor assassin. Fair enough. I don't know what that guy's doing here, but good for him. And this is played as recon, so it's just going fast and scoring points. Okay, we have. Oh, sorry. Let me double check. Dark Angels on list timer. I'm gonna run out of time to make this, aren't I? I don't even know if I'm halfway done yet. We have one result for triple ones as well. We have Azrael plus Inner Circles with an Apothecary, Librarian plus Apothecary plus Inner Circles, Intercessors, Landspeeder, Vengeance, Vengeance, Scouts, Hammer Strike, Thunderstrike, Thunderstrike. This is playing the Librarian's Conclave basically just for the access to the Advanced Charge Inner Circle Companion squad, and then it's playing turn 1 Deep Striking Landspeeders turn 1 Deep Striking on the Landspeeders, and they all ignore cover. So this is a couple durable units backed by a bunch of scoring, played as recon. Yeah, cool detachment, cool army. I think that's an interesting way to go for. You want a bunch of shooting. This army is playing what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good shooting platforms, 6, 7, 8, 9 good shooting platforms, and 2 very durable pieces. I'm surprised that this is not playing the Fusilier brick, but I'm guessing that this army just does not feel like it has the model count to get away with that because it doesn't have a good way to deliver it, right? Like you probably need to run a drop pod or a pulsar or something like that in order to be able to deliver it. And this army doesn't want to do that, so it's just not. Biggest issue with this combination is you kind of have shit stratagems. There's just nothing to spend CP on, so I would almost be tempted to swap Azrael out to another Librarian and just free up 80 points, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I mean, I would maybe like swap that guy to a Librarian and put the teleport enhancement on them so they can pick themselves up and drop them down and get them in the game if they get stuck somewhere, because Azrael's 4 Vulnerable Save is doing the same thing. The sustained hits is nice, but is it 80 points nice? Unsure. But yeah, no, super cool. Dark Angel's very, very interesting space. Black Spear Task Force for Deathwatch. We have priority assets, Captain Agravis with an Indomitor. We have Captain Chaplain and Terminator with Deathwatch Kill Team, 10-man. Chaplain Terminator with Deathwatch Terminator, 10-man. An Indomitor Kill Team. So 2 Indomitors, 2 10-man Terminators. This is just down with the thickness, a couple units to do some actions, a +1 to wound source. This is cool as hell. Yeah, I mean, this is just teleporting shooting that's trying to teleport as much of its army around as it can, get hidden until it hits you, and then hit you as hard as physically possible. These are also just 7 heavy intercessors in these squads. They are not playing any any of the aggressors, so there's no combat coming out of those units. They are just shooting units. So this is just trying to sit at arm's length of you and shoot you from angles and try to cut around hidden that way. Very interesting. This is just trying to force you to come to it and then shoot you in the face, and it's relying on the Terminator for its +1 to wound from the Chaplain Terminator armor +1 to wound, and then just like hitting you in the head. 1 Thunderhammer in each squad just to tank up a damage 3 attack on kind of thing. Interesting. Different direction again. I like the idea a little bit of Bastion Task Force plus Librarius Dark Angels, but it's not one of those. I haven't put enough time into it to have any strong opinions on it. But it seems kind of interesting. Okay, next up we have Death Guard. There are no results from Death Guard outside of the Polish event, so let's take a look at the Polish event. Contagion Engines plus Death Lord's Chosen, so this is lots of shooting Death Guard. We have Lord of Contagion with Face of Death. I don't know what that does, and I'm not going to look it up. On a Death Shroud squad, Lord of Contagion with Death Shroud squad, Lord of Virulence with Death Shroud squad, Tallyman for CP, Typhus, 1 Defiler, 4 drones, 1 Hellbrute, just advanced shooting plus a Defiler. Good, advanced shooting. Death Lord's Chosen to have up and down on the Terminators, and to get access to. I think that's the one that gives you access to Purge the Foe. I don't think Contagion Engines is baseline Purge the Foe. Let's take a look at that. I should have been doing this the whole time. Yeah, Contagion Engines gives us access to Purge the Foe with our very, very thick army instead of playing priority assets, which that army probably doesn't want to play. Drukhari, we have Spectacle of Spite. This looks like it's a last edition list, and we have Exhibition of Slaughter plus Sky Splinter Assault as the 2 results for Drukhari. These look like infinity unit recon armies. These are infinity unit recon armies with a bunch of Scourges. I hate Scourges so goddamn much. Exhibition of Slaughter, it's a cool detachment. Makes your witches hit really hard. You're playing recon, you want witches anyway, so having witches that hit a little better is really nice. Lethal hits is a good buff for them, and Sky Splinter Assault just gives you your lance lethal hits. Like that's a good place to be. You can punch up with the lance, you can punch down with the lethal and the lance. Yeah, cool detachment, cool army, seems good. This is obviously from last edition by the look of it. I don't think this is a current edition, is a new edition list. Maybe it is. I really truly can't tell. But I think Spectacle Spite's a 2 DP. So yeah, I'm just gonna move on. Drukhari in Listhammer. Is there anything interesting here? No, just those two. Cool. Emperor's Children are up next. We have Coterie the Conceited running the gamut for all of the results. We have Lord Exaltant, Lord Exaltant, Lord Exaltant, Demon Prince, Defiler, Mauler Fiends, Noise Marines. We have Exaltants, Demon Princes, Fulgrim, Defiler, Noise Marines. Yeah, same thing. No Defiler, one Defiler. Yeah, Emperor's Children, they play a Defiler really well. Coterie the Conceited notably did catch a bit of a nerf with attach. You just no longer can't use 2 Coterie points. But overall, Coterie is still an incredibly powerful attachment that goes fast and hits hard. What is not to love? Defilers continue to be an incredibly impactful unit for that data sheet. There is one result out of Battle for the Capital, which is Spectacle Slaughter plus Peerless Bladesman, which I don't understand very much. This is double Infractor, double Prince, Fulgrim. This is just, I wanted enhancements. This is 18 Fight First Flawless Blades. Oh my goodness. What is this? Yeah, Spectacle Slaughter is the. Let's have a look at what this is doing. This is 18 Fight First Flawless Blades that have the Eager Patrons upgrade for +2 move. What a hero. Hell yeah, that's cool as hell. Great 4-on-1 result from that. That's really interesting. You have a precision stratagem, a normal move reactive stratagem, and move through model stratagem. None of those feel like the most impactful things in the world, but this is kind of cool. Purge the Foe, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage units and 2 score units to stand on some objectives. There's no exaltants. There's 2 exaltants, 2 princes, 1 on foot for the +1 AP. So those are AP 4 flawless blades as well. And then Peerless Bladesman is the sustained or lethal detachment, I believe. Yeah, you get sustained or lethal if you made a charge move. So you're going to be just doing +1 to charge and slamming in with like crazy damage on those guys. And then I assume we have distortion on one of the Lord Exaltants for +1 damage. Yeah, this rips. If you're looking for something a little bit different, maybe that's a place to have a look for. Genestealer Cult, the only result we have is Final Day, which is from Kipper's Melee, which was a 10th edition event. Was there any results on Listhammer? Am I almost half done? I think I'm almost half done. No results found for Genestealer Cult. Genestealer Cult's in a tough spot right now. I don't have a ton of direction to go for you. There was a result from ATC, which was Taken Hold, playing Biosantic with 2 10-man Bricks of Aberrance, which seemed kind of interesting. I think Final Day plus Xenocult has good damage and gets to lean on Tyranid data sheets a little bit. But right now, I think Genestealer Cults are in a wait for the update to hopefully fix Cult Ambush before we can say that there's anything particularly interesting to do with them, unfortunately. I'm just not in love with them as a faction right now. I just don't think they have a ton going for them, unfortunately. Just not a lot that really excites me. Okay, next up we have Grey Knights. Argent Assault plus Banishers is catching all of our results. Is there anything else on the other one? There is not. What do we have? We have Argent Assault Banishers. So this is the +1 to wound if your opponent is toughness is higher than your strength. So on Paladins, so there's going to be a bunch of Paladins. This is a Brotherhood Chaplain with +1 to wound. These guys give reroll charges, which is actually more important than it used to be. And then Banishers obviously gives us the advanced charge stratagem, the leadership test to get our lethal or sustained when we're in combat. Chaplains being leadership 5 actually does make that much more likely. And we obviously have the Resurrection. We have a Grandmaster with Paladins, GMNDK for some shooting, 1 Terminator squad, double strike squad, 10-5-5 of interceptors. Obviously, interceptors are really solid when they push in. They can surge move, they can body block, and then if your opponent tries to move forward, they can reactivate back into reserve with Shadow of Anarch. So yeah, really strong baseline starting point for Grey Knights. We have another similar one. We have Valdus plus Paladins. Valdus gives that a -1 to hit, so he went up in points a bunch, but solid. We have another part of the Chaplain plus Paladin, Brother Terminator, double strikes, double interceptors, and a Redeemer, and a solo Paladin squad. So this is just playing a Redeemer to have a little bit of extra damage, a bit of shooting, but we're not playing the Grandmaster Dread Knight. Yeah, this feels like a solid place to start for Grey Knights. I think this has probably been my pick of the litter. I think this is probably the best way to play Grey Knight. Shadow of Anarch is just a messed up stratagem, and the fact that you can justify playing it over Warpbane now because you get access to a damage output increase, which was the thing the Banisher was missing before, was that you didn't really have a thing to make your unit do more damage, and Warpbane cleared that up a little bit. I am surprised to not see Crow in either of these armies. I think Crow is still very powerful, but it's also understandable that he is expensive, and you have a bunch of other data sheets that are worth running now in Grey Knights, which was not a thing before because Paladins are in the list. Paladins obviously are not a cheap data sheet to include in your army. Imperial Agent, gloriously, someone played this. but I think this was a 10th edition tournament. Amazing job of Edavol. I am so impressed. This army does not exist to me. I can't talk about an army that I don't think has any competitive support from Games Workshop. Imperial Knights, we have Freeblade Company getting 2 results and Questing Companions getting a result. Freeblade Company, we have Lancer, Castellan, Crusader, Errant, Triple Helverin, playing as Purge the Foe. Knights, very good at Purge the Foe. This is a Feel No Pain, so you're going to make it even harder for your opponent to stack those kills against you. Just run damage. I'm surprised to not see a Destrier. I think the Destrier is really solid. The Castellan makes out like a bandit from the Change the Towering. It wanted to get close anyway to fire its melters and all that kind of stuff, so, and it didn't mind getting tagged in combat, and now it doesn't mind at all because it just sees the terrain and there's less terrain on the board to begin with. Then we have another Freeblade Company list with an Atropos, a Lancer, a Castellan, and a Crusader. Castellan showing up a bunch. This is a Teleporting Crusader, glorious, and a Ignore Cover Teleporting Castellan and an Ignore Cover Crusader, double Warglaive, and then we have a Question Companions list. Question Companions did get a buff, or no, it didn't get a buff. That was Valor Strike. Question Companions, Canis Rex, Atropos, Lancer, Castellan, Warden, 5 bigs. Question Companions, I think, doesn't play Purge the Foe, but Knights are quite good at also playing. Knights are also very good at playing priority assets because they have no problem doing like actions consistently. This plays Take and Hold, which is also Knights have a ton of OC. So I don't think either any of those. I think Knights play really well in Purge, Take and Hold, and priority assets. So it's super cool to see a couple of different variants. I know that Dominus Foe Breakers plus Gate Warden Lance is also a pretty powerful detachment that we've seen a little bit of. And I would be excited to see how that continues down the line. But I know that it is not exclusively the domain of strong results. But I love Dominus Foe Breakers, Gate Warden Lance. That line is so big now. A ton of fun. Leagues of Votann, we have Needguard, and Hearthguard Covenant popping up, along with some Mercenary Opand and some Slates. I think the thing that is most compelling for Votann right now is Terminators, and let's have a look and see if these guys agree. So we have Memnir, Uthar, Warriors, Capricus, Triple Sagittar, Thunderkin, Landforts, Pioneers, Yeagers, Vulcanite, Disintegrators, Ironjacks. Okay, so definitely not. This is a lot of shooting. These are fast Sagittars with Scout that shoot hard and have good units behind it, backing double Landforts. Super cool. But the event wins came from a Hearthguard Covenant list. So this is Mercenary Oathband, which is the one that lets you fiddle with your whether you're in the +1 to the reroll charges or the -1 to wound. So it's going to get into the -1 to wound pretty quickly. It's playing Take and Hold. Got Memnir Strategist. We've got Ironkins. We've got Terminator Brick. Yep. Bury, Pile of Gravkin, and a Landfort. And then over here we have slightly different, playing Needguard. This is the stacking buffs one. This is playing presumably priority assets or Purge the Foe. We have 10 Terminators. We have a Memnir. We have an Arcus Evaluator who got a ton of changes, ton of benefit from the new hazardous rules. Bury, Uthar, Warriors, Capricus, Thunderkin, Landfort, Pioneers, Steeljacks. Yeah. Votann, not a ton of data sheets, but the data sheets they have are powerful. The attachments they have are good. Being able to combine Needguard with Hearthguard Covenant, which gives you most of the benefit of Hearthband, was super cool. Hearthband itself has not gone anywhere. And Armored Trailblazers giving you Scout Sagittars also seems kind of interesting. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of interesting stuff to do for Votann, as long as you're sticking within the space. I like this list best. I think Jonathan Siebert's is the one that stands. What makes me most excited. I think this plays well as priority assets. It has a bunch of good units. It's got double Steeljacks. Having a good Overwatch is pretty powerful this edition. A big unit of Hearthguard to stick all the strats on and just nuke people. Needguard obviously has its own stratagems. It has AOC, right? All that kind of stuff. Just really good, really good core army. Anything interesting from? No, there's nothing interesting from Westhammer on top of that. Necrons, we have Hypercrypt, we have Starshatter, and we have Pharaoh's Armory, Cursed Legion. Hypercrypt, presumably playing Recon. Hell yeah. 5 Catan, Hexmark, some Flayed Ones, and some Ophidians. Playing Recon, came second. Goddamn hero. We have Starshatter playing priority assets, Wraith Squad, Locust Brick, Hexmark, Amatar, King. I mean, you could trick me into thinking that this was a Purge of the Foe list, but certainly Wraiths are very annoying to kill. If you don't kill the Technomancer, they start getting back up, and Starshatter gets a -1 damage Silent King, and that's really good. Yeah, I mean, this is going to stand on objectives and do some actions that dare you to do something about it. Very good into Purge the Foe, notably. And then Pharaoh's Armory got an event win with Purge the Foe. This is Fire and Fading Plasma or Crit 5's Fire and Fading unit. I imagine we'll see a Night Sight somewhere down here. No, we do not. This is just the cheaper, shootier version of a Plasma unit. We have the get the Destroyer keyword on the Overlord and put him in a Lich Guard squad for the extra buffs there. We have double Catan, a Reanimator, some Tomb Crawlers, a Monolith with +6 move, which is super cool, and Avatar. So lots of interesting directions. Necrons, obviously, they made it very well. The reanimation rules are very, very powerful right now. Being able to resurrect the unit off the character is super powerful. I'm surprised to not see Awakened get more results. We'll see some Awakened when we jump over to the ATC lists. But yeah, I'm surprised Awakened hasn't done better so far. Jumping over to the other ones, we have a couple more armies to add because there were a few events that were not recorded here. 3 of them being at the Polish event that went 4-1 at all of them. So we have Priority Acid Star Shatter list, Imatech, Necrosar, Barge, double Ghost Arc, triple Barge, double Spiders for the Feel No Pain, Doomscythe, double Doomsday Arc. This is just a ton of units playing priority assets. Getting that 6 up Feel No Pain, getting that 6 up Feel No Pain in the 5 up against Psychic if we're seeing a lot of Grey Knights, Thousand Suns, etc. Really interesting place to start attacking that. We've got a Take and Hold list that looks very standard. Thank you. We'll appreciate the summary. Take and Hold Awakened, Scorpic Lord plus Destroyers, and another Scorpic Lord, Technomancer with Wraiths, Nightbringer, Imatech, Necrosar, Doomscythe, 2 DDAs, and 3 Ophidians. Playing Take and Hold, durable, stands on object as well, resin characters, very annoying. And then we have a Take and Hold Awakened Dynasty list from the last one, which is Technomancer with Wraiths, Locust with Destroyers, Single Catan, Seras, Imatech, Amatar, King, Reanimator, Tomb Crawlers, Flayed Ones, Ophidians. Just lots of units playing Take and Hold. Like you're not super worried about stuff. You're just leading with a Catan to solve your problems, kill your Defilers and your Riptides, and then good scoring stuff to go behind that. So yeah, lots of direction for Necrons. Necrons feel like one of the most flexible armies right now. All right, Orcs. That is the most we've seen of anybody yet of having 5 different builds get results. We have a lot of Mordaka, which is the your guns get assault and you get sustained hits during the war. Obviously, with Orc units mostly hitting on 6s, this is just doubling your damage output on your shooting units. Freebooter Crew gives us the put units into war stratagem. We're going to see the Gazbrick in a lot of these. You have Gaz plus, just Gaz plus 10 boys, just the misers. I want Gaz to advance and charge. Big Brick of Squig Boys, Necrot, Wazdaka, who is in every list, some Big Mix and some Gretchen, cool, and like a decent bit of shooting at the bottom here, Lutas and Flash Kits. More Dark plus Bully Boys, we have War Boss with Breakers, War Boss with Meganobs, War Beast Boss with Squigs, Big Tank Buster Squad to use the Mordaka rules, Necrot, Wazdaka. Wazdaka is just going to be in every list. This data sheet is incredibly powerful. You should see this everywhere. Trucks, pile of Flash Kits, double Meganobs to use the Bully Boys rules. Mordaka Dread Mob, we have mech guns. This is one of those we took a brief look at earlier, I think. So a Bubble Chaka double tractor cannons mech gun squad. Sure. Big mech with Dead Shiny, Big mech with Shock Attack Gun, Big mech with Shock Attack Gun, Big mech with Shock Attack Gun, Wazdaka, Gretchen, Truck, Daka Rig. So these are, I don't love the Daka Rigs, but they certainly are reasonably cheap for the amount of durability and the amount of gun they have. They have like 15 good shots at short range and heavy. And they're going to hit on 6s a lot of the time, but that's not the end of the world if you're just rolling, you just roll a lot of dice for cheap. They're going to do a lot of the same job like a Land Speeder would do in Space Marines. Trading in a bit of mobility for durability. We have a 10 commando squad. We have a pile of Lutas to use those Mordaka buffs. That mech gun squad. I don't want to think about this loadout. And then we have double war bosses and double war tracks to hand out that -1 to hit. We have a Roll and Death Bully Boys list with Gazgul and Knobs, Beast Boss and Beast Snaggers, Big Boss, Breaker Boys, Mega Knobs, Truck, Battle Wagon for the Disembark with playing Rolling Death, Kill Rig. I don't understand this particularly. This is just double one, hoping for the best and doing a good job of it. It obviously got 3rd place at an event. There's just a lot of Mega Knobs asking, can you deal with hidden and battle wagons, which is cool. And it's got good scoring behind it, and it's playing Purge the Foe, and it's just going to try and kill you. I think this might be too many units for Purge the Foe for my taste, like too many small units. I don't think you need this many. And then we have a Warhorde list playing Take and Hold, Beast Snaggers, Beast Boss, Gaz Brick with Painboy, Big Mech, and Gazgul. This is obviously very common. This unit's like being able to add a Painboy to this unit is incredible. War Boss with Boys, Beast Boss and Squigosaur with Squig Hogs, Snickerot, Mozrog, Wazdaka, Truck, Daka Rig. Yeah. Some shooting support to do some scoring and to poke at some small units, and then bunch of big bricks and Wazdaka to be a pain in the ass. Marines, though, never want to be beaten, have just as many options. Blades of Ultramar still exists. Is anybody shocked? Victrix, Gulliman, Ballistus, Rapexes. KO Victrix, Gulliman, Landspeeders, Rapexes, triple Rapex. Gulliman, Ventress, Predator Annihilators, listening to the school of David Gaylord, double Rapex, Victrix. Cool, man. Blades of Ultramar has not really changed. Add some land speeders. Move on. Forge Father Seekers. We have Adrax with Blade Guard. We have Librarian with Infernus Marines with Immolator for the +1 shots. We have Librarian with Stern Guard unit for the crit 5s. We have Librarian. We have double drop pod Impulsor Inceptors for the 6 Steep Strike. Two more Infernus squads for advance and action. Land Raider Redeemer, double land speeders, some scouts. This is probably playing. I would imagine this plays reconnaissance, and that's why it's playing so many small units. But I could see this potentially playing Fires of the Foe. I would probably play this as recon. What did it say at the top? Just says Sally's Libby. I wish I want the app really badly to make you pick one of these when you pick your list so that it tells you what you're playing. Because this is really annoying right now. Okay, we have a Purge the full version. It's Forge Fathers plus Librarius, Adrax with Blade Guard, Librarian with Stern Guard with Fusillade, Librarian with Infernus with Teleport, Librarian with Infernus with the Immolator, Librarian Terminator Armor with Advance and Charge, Vulcan, who is solo. Solo Vulcan is popping up a little bit more. It's becoming a bit more popular. I think this is a cool tech. Blade Guard Veteran Squad, Infernus, two 10-mans, Land Raider Redeemer. This is just pile of guns, plus a 10-man Terminators. Now that they're a lot cheaper for the Lightning Clover, or for the, or no, these didn't change. This is just gun Terminators with the sustained hits and the +1 strength, I guess. Interesting. Fulgar's Task Force plus Fortified Seekers, so we're going to see a bunch of land speeders in this version. And we probably won't see as much in the Librarian brick. There'll probably be a Librarian brick with the Flamer for Immolator. Yeah, or Lieutenant with Immolator. Sure, going in an Inferno squad, giving them fallback and shoot on top of that. It's kind of cool. A bit less durable. Gladius Task Force. This is Calgar and Vitrix and Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Hell yeah, and Repexes. It's just Blades of Ultramar, but played as Gladius. And then Hammer of Averni, Lib Conclave. This is a cool combination, giving you access to that double oath to stack with those Stern Guard unit, which is obviously in here. Counterbar with Terminators, Librarian Terminator Armor with Terminators, double Terminator bricks. Surprised to not see Steel Font in here on an Ancient to give the resing, but it makes some degree of sense. Combo Lieutenant, Intercessor, and Cursor Infiltrator, double Land Speeder, double Predator. Yeah, I mean, it's only playing one Librarian, but that's all you need, right? Hammer of Averni was a close detachment before, and now it has a really powerful Stern Guard unit. You could even chuck Scout on it from Mechanic Var to start it off the table if you want to. And if you go first, you can stage it. And if you go second, you can just leave it on the table to walk on. I think the kind of leaning here is that Librarius Conclave is very powerful, but Blades of Ultramar hasn't gone anywhere. I think that's my big takeaway for Marines here. I'm going to take a quick look over at the other one to see if there was any Marine results that we've missed, and Orc results. Oh man, there's a ton of Orc results I didn't have in here. We have Tactical Brigade Green Tide from Circuit Breaker playing Disruption Taken Hold, Gazgul Painboy Boys, Big Boss Boys, War Boss Painboy Boys, War Boss Painboy Boys. This is so many boys. This is like 100 boys, plus some scoring units. This is playing Taken Hold, and it's just jamming at you. That is cool as hell. That one we already covered. We have another one of those, Green Tide plus Taken Hold. This Tactical Brigade is just giving access to like I think Tactical Brigade is the advance in action, so it just gives you like really good scoring, and also you have the redeploy if you want it. You have the reactive move at the end of your opponent's movement phase. So it's like, I'm not going to call it Phantasm, but it's pretty close to Phantasm. This is a super cool detachment. It pairs really well with Green Tide, which has the Fathom Vulnerable save always on for the game, just playing hidden Orc Boys. We have another one. We have Disruption Taken Hold, displayed as presumably Taken Hold, but I will leave it when I see it. Gazgul Painboy Boys, Warboss Painboy Boys, Warboss Boys, Weird Boy Boys teleporting, Zolgor plus 20 Gretchen, Big Boss plus this guy I think is attaching presumably to a unit, but is just not listed here because I think the app was broken for that. Boys, Truck, Battle Wagon, Commandos. Sick. This one we've covered. Mordaka Green Tide, Gazgul Painboy Boys, Warboss Painboy Boys. Our 20-man boys may be too cheap. What are we doing? Big Mac Rig, Flash Kits, Commandos, yep, some Tank Busters, Mordaka Bully Boys. I think we covered this one. Mordaka Freebird Crew, I think we covered. And this one we covered. Or is there two? There's two Rolling Deaths. One is Bully Boys and one is Mordaka. It's like there is apparently a ton of ways to build orcs that are all pretty compelling, and you should consider having a look at some of those. Okay, let's jump over to Marines. Oh, I have just hit the wrong button. My apologies. You guys have to deal with my big face for a second. Oh man, I'm gonna be dead for the show tonight. I think this is mostly what we just looked at. I don't think there's anything particularly new in here. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 results, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's one that wasn't listed. Fantastic. That one. Yeah, this one. Okay, we have Canuck with Terminators, Captain Terminator armor, Ancient Terminator armor with steel font for the rezzing, Terminator Assault Squad, big unit, and then pile of land speeders and double Van Vets to use some strats and double Vindicator. Yep, and that's a fairly standard looking Hammer of Averni list. It's just not really trying to use a lot of barrier stuff, just trying to be good shooting units with double Oath and rear ones to wound against the Oath target. That looks fantastic. Hammer of Averni, I think, is pretty reasonable. All right, just 3 factions to go. We have Tau. We have Advanced Acquisition Cadre plus Kauyon from Show Martin, which will got an event win. Commander and Cold Star, Ethereal, Twin Lance, Fire Knives, Ghost Keel, Pathfinder, Riptide, Skyray, Stealth Suits. Lists just really do keep going nowadays. This is just Kauyon playing endgame with sustained hits and Advanced Acquisition Cadre to get better Pathfinders. I think that's basically all it's doing. Advanced Acquisition Cadre is the one that gives you hidden and shoot, but it also gives you an objective secured stratagem, which is pretty nice. Thankfully, this one doesn't give plus detection range, other than for one unit that is shooting. I would have been very worried if it did that, because hidden is load bearing against Tau, and if this army took it away. But getting to shoot your Pathfinders and keep them hidden does drag your opponent closer to you, and it also gives you some tools for like slowing the game down. We have another similar one in Retaliation Cadre. Advanced Acquisition plus that, probably Merciful. Really quickly, that one played Priority Assets, and Advanced Acquisition plays Priority Assets quite well because you just get a lot of small units that keep hidden. Advanced Acquisition Cadre plus Ret Cadre, we have Foresight plus Fire Knives, Enforcer plus Fire Knives, Cold Star plus Starsides, Cold Star plus Starsides, Dark Strider, Twin Lance, Fire Knives, Starsides, Sunforge, Ghost Keel, Pathfinder, Stealth Suits. These lists just keep going, man. This is a lot of units for Parsleyful, would be my consider on that one, but obviously it did very well. Got the first place. So yeah, you get so much stuff in the Tau army. This is a super cool detachment. Red Cadre did get its range bumped down to 9 inches, so you can't drop and get the plus AP. So you do have to use the 6-inch deep strike for that, but 6-inch deep strike is much more powerful now that screening is harder. So strong place to consider starting. And then we have Modka, which unsurprisingly has 3 results, a second and 2 first. Modka is a crazy good detachment and has a very low win rate for how good it is right now. What's been doing well in Modka? We have Purge the Foe. All Modcas are playing Purge the Foe. We have 2 Fireblades. We have Twin Lance. We have 2 Breacher teams with those Fire Knives. We have Devilfish. This is Breacher Rush. Ghost Keel, Carnivore, Triple Pathfinder, Shocking, Piranha, Double Riptide, Skyray, Double Stealths. Then we have Enforcer Commander, Twin Lance, Broadsides with Missile Pods, Starscythe, Ghost Keel, Hammerhead, Piranha, Riptide. You get so much stuff in the Tau list. And then Foresight plus Fire Knives, Twin Lance, Broadsides with Missile Pods, Fire Knife, Ghost Keel, Hammerhead, Crew, Pathfinder, Piranha, Riptide, Stealth. You're seeing a lot of these lists try to avoid playing the third of anything to avoid paying any bonus points taxes, which I think is a reasonable way to build your army if you have a lot of units. Just like don't pay any points taxes, bring an extra unit instead, and that unit will probably be better than the points you would have gained from upgrading. So you're seeing a lot of like double Riptide, double Skyray, or double Hammerhead, or like that kind of space, and I think that's a very reasonable place to go to try to avoid paying those points taxes. Modka looks like there's a decent amount of list diversity in terms of like, do you bring some crisis suits to go alongside that? I really did like 3-man Starsight squads, just like burst cannons. They're 90 points. They're super cheap. They deep strike. They cause some problems for your opponent. They have lethal hits, right? All that good stuff. And just like cause some problems that you don't want to fire, solve some problems you don't want to fire a Riptide at. Yeah, Tau playing very well. All right, let's jump over to Listhammer really quickly to take a look if there's anything I missed. Oh, Space Wolves. No results. Cool. Space Wolves, I don't really know what you should do. Probably nothing. Don't play Space Wolves. I don't have any answers for you. I haven't looked into them into them deep enough to give you any answers, unfortunately. If we see anything from ATC, I'll mention. I think there was one list that did well at ATC, but it was very strange, and I don't want to shout it out as being a particularly great list because I don't understand it very well. Okay, Thousand Suns. We have Grand Coven, Magnus, Terminator Brick, Rubrics, Double Defiler, some Secatar, some scoring. It's Grand Coven. Nothing's changed. It plays Prio. Change host playing Prio / Reconnaissance. This is the Demons detachment. We have a Terminator Brick. This is playing the Terminator Bricks mostly for access to, I would imagine, the -1 to hit stratagem, which obviously stacks with cover. We have Kairos, triple Shaman, so it's got CP generation, and then just a grab bag of really good scoring units. Triple Screamers. Screamers notably have frame now, they don't in Thousand Suns, but they do in Demons. If that updates at any point, these will become much better at screening. And then 1 Secatar unit and 1 Zangor. Then we have a whole bunch of Secatar cohort. These are going to look pretty similar. A lot of these are just going to be pile of tanks, maybe a Terminator brick or two, and as many Sekitar as you can fit. Because Sekitar in this detachment these two detachments are crazy good. Psychic is an incredible buff, ignoring all hit modifiers, -1 to hits or cover, and also giving +1 to wound in a lot of situations from Hexorb Thrallband. So the Hexorb Thrallband list, we have double Terminator bricks, a Forge Fiend. Forge Fiends are very cheap in Thousand Suns to hit -1 to hit. Terminators, 12 Sekitar, some scoring. We have Magnus, Demon Prince, double Defiler, Forge Fiend, 12 Sekitar, some scoring. And we have 12 Sekitar, some scoring, 10 Terminators, and Magnus. Sick. Cool stuff. Love that. Sekitar might be undercosted by a lot. That unit is disgusting, and that 1 DP detachment is crazy. Then in Warforged Cabal, these are going to probably go a little heavier on the vehicles, a little lighter on the Terminators. We have triple Exalted on disc just to hand out the buffs. Double Rubrics. I imagine they're getting attached for the rezzing. We have a Chaos Spawn, double Defiler, double Forge Fiend, and 12 Sekitar, and a scoring unit. And then we have Ahriman, Prince, Tzaangor Shaman, double Spawn, good for priority assets. They just stand and do actions. Double Defiler, double Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, 12 only 10 Sekitar. Oh, Struan, you're slacking. Get those extra 4 Sekitar, and you're the only person here that doesn't have 12 Sekitar. And then we have Hexbots, presumably to me means Sekitar cohort plus Hexorb Thrallband. This is an Exalted on disc. Really, really solid scoring units now that they get hidden. Magnus the Red, Sorcerer and Terminator Armor, Tzaangor Shaman, Defiler, Scarab Terminator Squad, 12 Sekitar. Guys, Sekitar, please play 12 Sekitar. They are crazy good. Best data sheet in Thousand Suns, I think. Play 12 Sekitar, go kill people. Probably play Hexorb Thrallband Sekitar. I think it's a better attachment, but Grand Covenant Change Host have not gone anywhere. They certainly seem powerful. Yeah, consider it. And then last up we have, oh, sorry, let me double check the other event because I have to. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have the one, the only Pumbaa, who played Priority Assets, Grand Coven, Hexor plus Robots, 2 Wind Princes, Sorcerer plus 5 Rubrics, Terminator Sorcerer with Terminators. I don't know what that means. Tzaangor Shaman, presumably. A Defiler, 12 Sekitar, and some scoring. Fantastic. If even Pumbaa can go 4-1 with this, you can win a GT with it. Please play this. Please play that detachment. It's by far the best thing in Thousand Suns, I think. And then last up, we have NIDS, where we have two roads traveled. We have Ambush Predators, Vanguard Onslaught, and Talons of the Norn Queen plus something, and Sub-Assault stuff. Let's start from the top. Ambush Predators, Vanguard Onslaught. This is go fast, hit hard, probably play Recon. Biovore's great at scoring Recon. It's okay at Disruption, but it's amazing at Recon. Got 2 Broodlord plus Genestealer units, Deathleaper, Hyper Raveners, Neurotyrant, who's obviously incredible. Battleshock mechanic is great. Swarmlord to generate CP and give us a Vectora, Turret Prime with Lash Whip, and a Winged Turret Prime with a Warrior Brick. We've got double Genestealers, Lictor, Raveners, Warriors with Bioweapons, Zoanthropes. Yep, really solid. Plays Reconnaissance well. Lots of units going all the places, making support mines, hitting hard, causing problems. Really cool. Really good. Ambush Predators plus Vanguard Onslaught. My pick of the best way to play Tyranids right now. I think it's what, if I was playing NIDS, it's what I'd be playing. And I played a few test games with it, and I've been very broadly impressed. No Red Terror makes me sad. I like the Red Terror a lot, but I think he's better if you're playing this as a disruption, especially if you're doing that in a team's context, because he can go and do an action that completes in the shooting phase and then leave and do it again next turn, which I think is really cool. But yeah, going fast and having hidden really, really helps Genestealers being able to just like cross the board. Subterranean Assault, we've got Zoanthrope Brick, we've got Lash Prime to Hormigaunt, Lash Prime with Hormigaunt, Hyper Ravener Brick, 10 man, another Hyper Ravener's Red Terror, who's obviously amazing in this detachment. We've got 6 Hiveguard shot cannons, and then an Assimilator and a Nulceptor. And then we have Old One Eye plus double Carnifex, Neurotyrant plus Zoanthropes, Red Terror Swarmlord, 6 of Hiveguard with shot cannons. These guys are probably a lot better now that 1 AP doesn't feel as awful all the time. You don't always have to use the ignore cover stratagem on them. Maleceptor, who's improved with the new cover rules, and a pile of scoring, some Neurolictors, some Raveners, and some good combat. Then we have Talons of the Norn Queen plus Treasure Stampede from Svenung, Old One Eye plus Carnifexes, Hive Tyrant plus Swarmlord, Maleceptor, Assimilator with the 4 vulnerable save. This guy is great. I love this guy. 275 points for a Norn that does damage. Amazing. And then double Tyrann effects, 1 of each. I love this guy as well. Great Overwatch now. And the Norn Emissary. I think this is a really cool way to play Crusher Stampede. It's got good damage. It plays Purge very, very well. Not a lot of units, right? Like that's always the thing we're looking for, right? This is 9 unit. You're going to struggle to kill more against this, and it's good at killing you. And it's got two Norns to play the objectives with. They're going to get their 5 of Field of Pain until they eventually decide they're going to come and kill your stuff. Then we have a Talons of the Norn Queen Synaptic Nexus list, which is going a little more difficult. I would imagine this plays Taken Hold. This is Deathleaper, Hyper Raveners with the -1 leadership aura, you're getting shadowed by this army. Death Leaper plus Dirge, that is -4 to your leadership if you're near it. Like it's -2 to your leadership roll and -2 to your leadership characteristic. So you'll be, if you're a Marine unit, you're passing on a 10 or higher. That is crazy annoying if you get jammed up by that. Then we have a Neurotarrant Bivor, double Maliceptor, who obviously loves Synaptic Nexus, double Neurolictor, double Norn, double Screamer Kill. This is just Battleshock Factory. That's very funny. Von Ryan Sleepers for an infiltrating unit, now they're only 60 points, and Zoanthropes attached. You know what? This shoots hard, it hits hard, it's hard, and it's durable. Let's take one quick jump back over to Listhammer to take a look at Tyranids, and then we'll talk about World Eaters. There are a bunch more Tyranid results. Let's take a look. We have a Vanguard Onslaught Warrior Bioform list with Neurotarrant Zoanthropes, Gene Stealers, Hyper Raveners 10-man, Warrior Squad, Death Leaper Bivor, bunch of scoring. We have 2 Talons of the Norn Queen plus Assimilation Swarm list, so these are going to be healing Norns. I would imagine we're seeing like double or triple Norn out of these. Yep, double Norns, Maliceptor, some scoring, Ripper Swarms to hand out the heals, Von Ryan's, Old One Eye, cool. And then we have another one that is a Winged Hive Tyrant with the heal, presumably attaching to some Tyrant cards. Or no, that's just the extended aura range, isn't it? A Neurogaunt Squad, triple Norn Assimilator, or Norn Emissary. Yeah, I mean, these lists are cool. Maybe not the direction I would go, but certainly powerful. We have another Norn list. Norn's very popular. Talons of the Hive Mind seeming to be popping up everywhere. Talons of the Norn Queens popping up everywhere. Really, really interesting. And then World Eaters. World Eaters exist. Certainly they exist. There are no results for them. I don't have a direction for you. Again, I've not seen enough of anybody wanting to play World Eaters to give you a direction, unfortunately. So if you're a World Eaters player, I'm really sorry. We'll go and take a look at the ATC list. So let's start with the 5-mans. Should have a look at the top 10 or anyone undefeated and kind of see what they were playing, just again to give us a picture of what the team event looks like and if there's anything from there for any of the armies that we've not looked at. So we have Emperor's Children playing Carnival of Excess plus Elegant Brutes. We have just a pile of Terminators getting the crit 5s, a Defiler, some Noise Marines, nothing too crazy. Solid Detachment. We have Imperial Knights. Let me change over how I'm streaming this. Give me 1 second. See my face again. I'm gonna just screen my entire computer because I a psychopath. There we go. Just because I don't want to have to constantly click back and forth on these. Okay, so we have Imperial Knights, we have Admech, we have a Space Wolf army, sick. We have Chaos Knights, we have Chaos Demons, we have Thousand Suns, we have Tau, we have Space Marines, we have Blood Angels, Grey Knights. I'll go down to this World Eaters army because I want to give you guys a bone. There's a Space Wolf and a World Eaters in there, so that excites me. Okay, we have Admech playing Taken Hold. We have Castellan Robots, Call, Tulia, Dune Riders, bunch of Servitors and some Disintegrators. It's nothing too crazy in there. We have Space Wolves Beast Slayer. Oh, hell yeah. I don't know what either of these attachments do. I don't know what Vectors of the Fang does, certainly. Let's take a look. Friendly Grey Hunters can action and shoot, and you can split them into 2 units. Sick. I don't almost care at all. Head Takers plus Wolf Priest, Head Takers plus Wolf Priest, Terminators plus Arjak, Bjorn, 1 Grey Hunter squad, sick, really leading into that rule. A Rep X. This is cool. I mean, Beast Slayers is the lethal hits one, so you're going to get good damage out of these units. Obviously, Ragnar is very fast. Advance and charge full wound rules on these Blood Claws. Head Takers with the Rezzing are really annoying, plus 1 to wound, and it's played as Disruption, so it's got a decent amount of go and kill things. It's not getting too leaned into having to score points. We've got Chaos Knights playing Hunting Warpack plus Traitor Lance. We have 3 bigs, 2 Evolvements and a Lancer, and then a pile of dogs. Yeah, seems reasonable. Nothing too crazy here. We have Be'lakor, Triple Lord of Change, Nurglings, Pink Horrors, pile of Flamers, pile of Screamers. This is played as Scintillating Legion. I think this is a really good way to play Scintillating Legion. Just lots of guns, lots of scoring. Reconnaissance plays it really well. We have Servants of Change plus Warforged Cabal. This is the Zangor detachment. It's just a bunch of Zangor and a bunch of Vortex Beasts. Cool. Shoots hard, scores hard, plays as Reconnaissance. A lot of these recon armies, like you're getting forced into playing these, and they're very good at scraping like good scores in teams, but they're maybe not pushing like huge wins a lot of the time, but sometimes they will, because they can just hit hard, right? We have Kalyon Advanced Acquisition. This is going to be fairly similar to what we saw before. And it is. I'm not going to comment too much on any of these. Tiger Shark, though, does this? I assume the event FAQ that this physically works and it can come on the board edge. This is interesting tech. It just comes on if the board and shoots, but I don't know if I would play that personally. We have Blades of Ultramar, Vitrix, Wardens with Blade Guard, Ballistas Dreadnoughts, Land Speeders, and Repexes. Yep, cool. We have Blood Angels, Bastion Task Force, Legacy of Grace. So this is +1 to advance and charge and advance and charging infantry. Captain would jump back with Hero, the Captain of the biggest squad secondary guard. Librarian, Sank Priest, Assault Intercessor. Captain plus Assault Intercessors with Bombast for the CP regen. Another Assault Intercessor brick. The big Blade Guard brick. Sick. Double Ball Predator. I assume this plays Take and Hold? No, played priority assets. Interesting. I would be a little worried. I guess you advance an action with all your infantry in Bastion Task Force. That's kind of cool, actually. That makes sense to me. I like that a lot. Then we have Grey Knights. Disruption, Argent Assault plus Banishers, Valdus Mini Brick, Chaplain Mini Brick, Crow plus Purifiers. There we go. Double Dread Knight Grandmaster for some shooting and a Redeemer. So a bit more shooting heavy version of the Argent Assault plus Banishers list. We have World Eaters Purge the Foe playing Berserker Warband because of course you are. Slaughterbound with unit, Exalted 8-bound with him, Slaughterbound with unit, Lord on Juggernaut with 20 Berserks, Karn with 10 Berserks, Angron, and some scoring. It's as purgy as Purge gets. Well done on this guy to doing well. And then I wanted to really quickly touch on Matt Shuckman's army just because it was a bit different, and Mark Hertel's army from this event because they were a little bit different. Mark Hertel was playing a reconnaissance Vanguard Space Marines list, so Vanguard plus Librarius with Ventress Heroes, Tiggy plus Sternguard, Librarian with Temporal first plus Sternguard, and then Librarian with Sternguard plus Gulliman. So double Oath, 25 Sternguard, and then just a bunch of scoring units on top of that. So just playing Reconnaissance, teleporting around the board and scoring good points. And then Matt Shuckman was playing Seer Council plus Path of the Outcast. This is an Eldrad brick, a Morgan Ra brick, a Fuegan brick, a Jane'Zar unit, a Lycus unit, and then a pile of scoring. And is playing his priority assets, just backloading as many points as it can. It's just trying to survive through the early turns and then shoot and then score 1,000,000 points in the end game and try to get some big wins. And it played really well, from what I understand. And then we have one with Eldritch Raiders, just because we didn't have a ton of Eldar earlier. Eldritch Raiders plus Path of the Outcast, Uriel plus Void Reavers, Avatar of Cain, Eldrad, who appears to be solo, grab bag of scoring, double Fire Prism, and then advance and charging Shining Spears, and an advance and charging Wraithguard squad. Cool. Not something I would have thought of, but those lists both did reasonably well. I want to just quickly shout that they that one went 4-0-1, which is a really respectable result. The other list was from the other event. Let's quickly look at the 8-mans. I'm going to run through. Is there anybody that I want to shout out specifically? Yeah, let's just do the top 10 again. These ones, I know I'm blitzing through these, so apologies if you want to stop and have a full look at these lists. The lists are available on BCP. I'm just trying to get a brief overview on what the metagame looks like, but obviously I appreciate that this is teams, and I also have like 10 minutes left to finish this out, so I don't want to be here forever. So apologies for being a bit dismissive with a couple of these lists and just getting through it. I'm going to go to this GSC list because I want to talk about GSC at least a little bit this episode. I mean, Brian Doherty and Zach Point are both on Team USA as well, so let's do those. And this guy, and Conan, because he's a very notable Marine player. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we have Taken Hold, Secatars plus Terminators. 12 Secatar, guys. Shocking. We have Folger Piles playing Awakened Dynasty, Locust Lord with Heavy Destroyers, Scorpion Lord, Scorpion Squad, Triple Scorpec Squads, Void Dragon, Silent King, Amatar, Seras, Warriors, Destroyer. Stands on objectives really good. You can watch the final stream game he played this against Imperial Knights and just stood on all the objectives and got a bunch of points. We have Glyn, one of the Team USA Academy guys, playing a Storm Surge in Storm Surge Monka, double Stealth, double Riptide, one Storm Surge. It's not that much more expensive than the third Riptide is now. Plus a Broadside Brick and a bunch of Pathfinders and Twin Lance, really solid. Dark Treasure is a really good stand around objective unit. Now that he has Pseudo Lone Operative because of Hidden, he's much easier to kind of have standing around. I realized I just flicked back to that tab because I felt the obligation to look at myself. Make sure that nothing had gone crazy, but that doesn't work when you're screening the host tray. We have Court of the Phoenician Frenzied Host, Exaltant Unit, Prince Fulgrim, Infractors, Tormentors, Rhinos, Defilers, Noise Marines, Shooting, Court of the Phoenician, you're going through walls, you're shooting harder, you're charging harder. You add Frenzied Host onto that to hit even harder. These guys hit like strength 6 on the charge now, I'm pretty sure, because they get +1 from Court and +1 from Frenzied Host. Those Infractors hit pretty fucking hard. Josh Kramer, we have Saga the Great Wolf plus Legends of Saga and Song. This is the Space Wolf version of Gladius. It does like advance and shoot and +1 to hit and all that kind of stuff. And Legends of Saga and Song does something that I don't know. Terminators get +1 to charge. Okay. I mean, it's going to just try to bank some mates from reserve, I would assume. We have Bjorn, Captain and Terminator armor with, I think that's the enhancement that lets him join Terminators. Cool. That's a thing that you would probably need to do. Murder Fang, Intercessors, Inceptor Brick with Plasma, Reavers, scoring units, 10 Brick of Terminators, 10 Brick of Terminators, pile of Wolfen. Not a lot of units. Not a lot of units. Does Saga of the Great Wolf also have a +1 to charge in it? No, it gives reroll advance and charges. So you can have reroll advance and charges +1 to charge, so you're just banking a bunch of 2/3 odds charges, and then Grimnir's Mark gives you free strat rapid. That's kind of cool. Okay, Steve Van Preen was playing Orcs. This is a speed wall list. It is a big mech with shock attack gun and tank busters, Death Killer Wartrike with 6 bikes, mech, just solo guys scoring points, doing actions. This is playing as reconnaissance, so it wants lots of units. Wazdaka, because he's in every orc list, triple truck, double Daka rig, double Death Copters, double flash kits with the rapid fire enhancement, the triple Gretchen, kill rig, tank busters, warbikers, just bunch of units. Plays reconnaissance, goes around, scores a bunch of points. Well done to Steve. Nemo playing recon. Are you guys shocked? Me neither. Castellan Brick, Castellan plus Shock Troopers plus Cadians, Scion Brick, Gaunt's Ghosts, Dreer as a solo hands out orders guy, Ogren Bodyguard, Ursula Creed, 20 Brick of Deathcore, Recon Squad, because they're just cheap. They hold their orders. This is triple heavy weapon team with las cannons, double combat engineers, and then triple Krieg heavy weapon team with las cannons. This is just like a absolute smack ton of las cannons that are getting cover all the time and have a bunch of rerolls. And obviously Nemo had some really great results. I think he got like 111, but other than that, he was bullying people. Taylor, we have Corey the Conceited, Lucius with Falls Blades, Lord Exaltant, Prince, Tormentors, Double Defiler. I stand by the you can run 2 Defilers, 1 Prince, or 1 Defiler, 2 Princes rule, and I think that seems reasonable to me. Or Langendorf playing Purge the Foe with Scarshard, Spearhead plus Curse Legion. This is the attachment that buffs mounted units for Necrons. Technomancer with Murder Mind with Wraiths to make them Destroyer keyword. Locust Lord with Destroyers, Locust Lord with Destroyers, Locust Lord with Destroyers, Heavy Destroyers, Scorpec Lord, Amatar, triple Annihilation bars. There's just lots of units playing a good game of Purge the Foe. We have Invasion Fleet from Charles Barber, Hormigaunt Brick, proper 20-man Hormigaunt Brick, both with primes, Hive Tyrant, Hormigaunts, Biovore, double X Screen, double Gene Stealer, Maliceptor, double Zoanthrope Brick. This looks cool. Not something I would play, but Taken Hold, it's super interesting. Just wants to, like, Taken Hold's game plan is often to go past the middle and pin you in your deployment zone. This list is adding a ton of complication to doing that with double Blood Surging Hormigaunts plus double Gene Stealers that can just scout at you and get super aggressive. So this probably plays hidden really well and has double Zoanthrope Bricks that get hidden until they shoot. And it's avoiding playing the neuroturns in them because they're just like, I'm going to hit on 3s with Psychic and hope that that's enough because they they just ignore cover now. And hope that just hitting on 3s with sustained hits is enough to power through. But they can get hidden until they shoot, which they can't really do if they have neuroturns. The fact that this doesn't have a neuroturn at all gives me the fear as a Tyrion player. We have Death Guard, Virulent Victorum, Big Terminator Brick, Small Terminator Brick, Prince, Mortarion, Tallyman, Typhus, Triple Blight Hauler, Triple Poxwalker. This plays Taken Hold, it stands on the objectives, it shoots hard, it fights good. Currently, Deathstroke and Rapid Ingress at 6 inches. That's quite powerful. They do that, and they do it well. We have Cal McCord on Wrath of the Rock priority assets, Azrael with 10 Sternguard, Lion, double Deathwing Knights, Eradicators with Heavy Bolters. This unit's really good for 70 points. It just shoots really hard for cheap. Eradicators with Heavy Bolters, Inceptors, Landspeeder, Vengeance, Outrider Scouts. Just lots of units, stands about, plays good scoring. Kyle's a Wrath of the Rock expert. He played it for donkeys. We have Armored Trailblazers plus Neat Guard. So this is going to be a bunch of Scouting Sagittars plus some Thunderkin and some Terminators. And look at that. It's exactly what it is. No land forts. Cool. We have Sebastian on Recon Tyranids. This is Vanguard plus Ambush Predators. Hive Tyrant with Redeploy, Death Leaper, Raveners, Neurotyrant, Red Terror. A couple of Maliceptors. So a little bit more shooting in this version compared to some of the Vanguard lists we've seen. Then we have Drew Rhodes on Priority Asset Star Shatter, Technomancer with Wraiths, Locust Lord with the Destroyers with -1 damage. That works on themselves, by the way, I'm pretty sure. I think that's vehicle or mounted for that enhancement. Locust Lord with the Ignore Cover on his Wraith, on his Brick. Nightbringer, Hexmark, Saras, and then pile of scoring and ADDA to just abuse Star Shower, just shooting units on objectives really hard, using the Resurrection Orb to keep its character units alive, and hoping you can't one-shot them and it can react and move away. Tucker Ricky, we have Xenocult Masses, which is the reroll detachment and the heal additional models with Biosanctic. Patriarch Brick, 10 man with Gene Stealers, Abominant with the Infiltrate with a Biophagus and 10 Aberrants, Abominant with 10 with 10 Aberrants, Benefictors with Neophyte Squad to do the full rerolls on, one Saboteur, one Acolyte Squad, a truck, some Ridge Runners, and some scoring units. It hits pretty hard. It charges well. That plus charge stratagem is pretty good. It has terrible resing options, but if you can just push them past your opponent and hold them off the middle, it's got that Alien Majesty enhancement to try to stop your opponent from taking the objectives off you, and it is pretty thick. Well done to Tucker. It's not something that I would have expected to do well, and I think he did a really good job, getting that on the table and doing really well with it. The last couple of ones I want to touch on are a couple of the Team USA circular guys and Conan, who obviously finished third in the ITC last year. Conan is the template for Blades of Ultramar. If you're looking for Blades of Ultramar list, I would recommend just cribbing Conan's homework. It's what I do whenever I want to win an event with Blades. Calgar, Kato, Vitrix, Captain of Gravis, Lieutenant with Combi Weapon. That's your priority assets covered. Intercessors, JPIs, Ballistas, Incursor, Speeder, Repex, Scouts, Hammer Strike. This is basically you absorb the points increases to a couple of things in Blades of Ultramar by cutting your second Vitrix brick, adding Kato to your first one, and then adding some land speeders. I like that a lot, and I think that's exactly what I would do. I maybe wouldn't bother with the Ballistas Dreadnought, and I play another speeder or something instead, but each their own. Zach has another similar version of that. Calgar with Kato, or Calgar with Vitrix, no Kato. Wardens with Blade Guard as his tech piece. Intercessors, JPI, Ballistas, Incursors, Land Speeder, Repulsor, Repex, Storm Speeder, Hammer Strike. This is going a little bit cut rate, just playing a regular Repulsor instead of the Repex for the second one, but that unit can hold the Blade Guard unit with those guys, and it can hold Calgar. You can obviously jump back into it when you get charged, so it gives you some flexibility for playing the scoring game and doing your priority assets and reactive moving into transports. And having the ability to do that with Calgar is quite powerful because traditionally he can struggle with that because you start at 8 models because of Calgar being 2 models because he's in Terminator armor. He counts as 2 models under Repex, which means he can't embark on it because his unit is 7. But yeah, I think it's still worth doing. And then last up, we have Brian Doherty playing Renegade Raiders Chaos Space Marines. If you're looking for a if you're trying to fill like a reconnaissance law, or you don't want to play Purge of the Floor or something like that, consider this for Chaos Space Marines. Huron Brick with Masters and 5 Chosen. Cultist, Legionnaires for your trading pieces. Triple Rhino, double Predator Destructor, single Defiler, grab bag of scoring, double Noise Marines. Lots of scoring, lots of units, plays well at the game. I think the big thing that stands out here, there is so much less diversity right now at the start of the edition for the factions that can play the game. If your army doesn't have a ton of great options, this probably sucks. It's probably really hard to get World Eaters or stuff, or Eldar, maybe GSC off the ground right now. There's just not a lot of going on. But in the team environment, there's some stuff that's popped out. Obviously, we'll start to see lists. We have the UKTC Birmingham this weekend. And there will be more and more games getting played, and we'll see more and more innovations. People will figure out the metagame, and it will get circular. It's hard to make recommendations at this point. Besides, have a look at what's working and what you like the idea of, and go from there. But if you're looking for ideas of what you need to be able to beat, the things that were popping up a bunch in there were fast shooting, lots of units, big durable bricks of infantry, like hidden infantry and good shooting seem to be the things that you want. Lots of psychic out there right now between a lot of Thousand Sons particularly. I think Thousand Sons are one of my top 3 armies right now, and they play a ton of psychic. So if you've got tools that are good against psychic, consider looking at them. Librarius Conclave for Marines is a great example of a thing that just is also very popular and adds a bunch of psychic damage. Notably though, Librarius Conclave doesn't actually lean on the psychic that heavy. It's usually psychers buffing stuff, but it's very good against psychic armies itself. Like it shuts down, it's actually really good into stuff like Scintillating Legion or Thousand Sons because you get the fort feeling it's psychic from the librarians. So consider leading into that direction if you're looking for an answer to that kind of stuff. Otherwise, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this and you want to see more of this every month, you can check out youtube.com/statcheck and check out the membership program, or patreon.com/statcheck and check out the Patreon membership. For $5 a month, you get access to our Discord. You'll get access to all of our bonus videos. These are usually bonus videos. They go behind the paywall. But I figured for the first month of 11th edition, I would make this for everybody. I usually try to make two videos a month. It's been pretty ram-packed for June with the new edition and getting prepped for WGC, but we'll be getting back onto that cadence as we go forward. And we'll be going from there. If you want to work with me specifically on anything that I spoke about today or anything else going forward, you can check out stat-check.com/coaching. I'm pretty busy right now, but I will be, I'm always looking to take on new clients. I never put anyone aside if that wants to work. I just have, the timing is a little off right now, but I'm more than happy to work with you if you're looking to reach out. And obviously we have a bunch of other amazing coaches on that site that you can chat to as well. But if you like the way that I talk about the game, that's why I make these things. It's all advertising, right? We've got to be a bit ruthless with these things. Obviously, we do the StatCheck main show every Tuesday. It's actually in 13 minutes. YouTube.com/StatCheck. You can find the live show there every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK time. And it's greatly appreciated. If you have any feedback on this, please leave a comment down below or ping me a message in the Discord or anything like that. I'm always happy to have a chat about the wider metagame. As we get more and more results, these become more and more complicated and more nuanced and longer to make. So, it's always interesting trying to find 2 hours to break down the metagame and kind of talk about it. But I love doing it, and this is part of the hobby that I find the most fun. There were some really cool lists in there. I particularly really enjoyed the Bastion Task Force Ultramarines list, Bastion Task Force. No, the Stormlands Legacy of Grace, Blood Angels list, and the Bastion Task Force. Like everything that was like like advanced and charging infantry with like Legacy of Grace seemed like a ton of fun to me, and that's definitely the kind of space I want to explore. I might try that Blood Angels, Bastion Task Force plus Legacy of Grace one. That seemed like a ton of fun. I think that would be really interesting to play. But otherwise, thank you so much everybody for watching. I really enjoyed making these, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual social stuff. Otherwise, I'll catch you all next time.